because of what can formation of multiple bonds between manganese and oxygen. This oxygen is stabilizing Mn plus 7 ions more than that of what can fluoride ions. Therefore, whenever Mn is combined with fluorine, it produces only MnF4 only. MnF7 does not exist. MnF7 does not exist. Okay, this point is important. But Mn2O7 can exist. Right? And one more point here, in higher oxidation state, these are covalent or ionic here, covalent. These are the covalent. But in lower oxidation state, they form ionic compounds or covalent compounds here, covalent ionic compounds. It is plus 2 and plus 2. 3 plus 2 or plus 3?
Plus 3.
Plus 3. Because of what here half-filled electronic configuration, it is what here D5S0 configuration. Right? So next, suppose if you take second transition, second series, right? What are the second series of elements? Yttrium to what? Right? Cadmium, isn't it? In this, we are getting what here different elements. What are they? Yttrium, zirconium, niobium, molybdenum, technetium, ruthenium, rhodium, palladium, and cadmium. Palladium, silver, and cadmium. Now tell me, in this second transition series, or this is also known as what here 4D series, isn't it? Right. Which element exhibits highest oxidation state? Yeah. Which element exhibits highest oxidation state? Zirconium, niobium, molybdenum, technetium, ruthenium, rhodium, palladium, silver, and cadmium. Tell me. Ruthenium, right? Ruthenium exhibits what here +8 oxidation state, right? Already we know RuO4, isn't it? But this +8 oxidation state of ruthenium is not stable. It is unstable, but it can exist. And in 4D series or second transition series, the stable oxidation state exhibited by what here maximum stable oxidation state exhibited by technetium, just like what manganese, isn't it? So this point is important. And next, if you come to the silver, silver also belongs to 4D series. Silver exhibits what here only +1 oxidation state, because always silver complexes are more stable. Silver compounds are more stable in +1 state. And you take cadmium, it exhibits what here +2 oxidation state, right? So this is about what here second transition. And next, we take third transition series. In third transition series, which element exhibits highest oxidation state? Tell me. Yeah, osmium. What is the oxidation state here? That is what here +8, +8. And one more point, if you come to this last element, what is this? Mercury. Mercury can exhibit what here +1 and +2 oxidation state. So +1 oxidation state we can write Hg2 +2, and +2 oxidation state we can write what here Hg +2. We take mercurous chloride means always we write what here Hg2Cl2 we write, but not HgCl. Okay, and if we take mercury chloride, we write what here HgCl2. This is mercurous chloride, and this is what here mercury chloride. And what is the element before mercury in this series? Yeah.
Gold.
Gold. Gold. Gold can exhibit what here +1 oxidation state and +3 oxidation state, isn't it? In +1 oxidation state, it is called as RS. In +3 oxidation state, is called as what here auric. Okay. These are the oxidation states exhibited by what here 3D, 4D, and 5D elements. Always secondary group elements are exhibiting. Secondary group elements are exhibiting only +2 oxidation state, right? Therefore, zinc, cadmium, and mercury. Of course, exception is there here. These elements are considered what here, right? D block elements, but not what here transition elements, because of what here completely, right? Only in these elements one shell is incomplete. But according to transition elements definition, in any element, if two shells, outer shells are incomplete, then it is said what here transition. Strictly speaking, according to the definition, secondary group elements are not treated as what here transition elements. These are what here D block elements. Okay, right. The next here, suppose if you take chromium here, right? So chromium it can form CrO3. Is it possible or not? Chromium, tell me. Yeah,
Possible.
possible. In organic chemistry also we discuss, isn't it? It is acting as what here oxidizing agent, right? Chromium acts as what here strong oxidizing agent. But if you take molybdenum MoO3, right, and tungsten WO3, actually if you see the elements here, scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, etc. Yttrium, zirconium, niobium, molybdenum, etc. Here it is what here? Lanthanum, hafnium, tantalum, and tungsten. Now see, chromium, molybdenum, and tungsten, all they belongs to what here? Sixth group. Okay. So, but chromium is see, CrO3 is right can exist and it is acting as what a strong oxidizing agent. But MoO3 and WO3 cannot exist. Cannot exist in the sense they are not what gets stable compounds. Just a minute, Madam Niti. Aditya, Aditya, Aditya. Anybody is there? Aditya in the class? Yeah, Aditya. Long term లేదా అవునా ఎంత వచ్చిందమ్మా ఆదిత్య గెస్ట్ గెస్ట్ వచ్చినట్టుంది ఓకే ఈ అమ్మాయి గెస్ట్ వచ్చింది okay, right. So here the chromium, molybdenum, tungsten, they belong to actually same group. Okay, but CrO3 is right stable compound and it acts as what a strong oxidizing agents. But MoO3 and WO3, these compounds can exist, but they cannot act as what are oxidizing agents. Cannot act as what are oxidizing agents, right? And one more point is see. Suppose in 3D elements, you see when you go from scandium to manganese, right? Here higher oxidation state increases, and when you go from manganese to zinc here, then oxidation state decreases it. Therefore, if you take right iron, next cobalt, nickel, copper, and zinc. Okay. So in these elements in general, right, lower oxidation state stability is more. Lower oxidation state stability is more. Because say iron can exist +2, +3, +4, even +6 also. But +2, +3 are the stable oxidation states. Cobalt also. Right, +1, +3 are stable. Nickel also. +1, +4 are stable. Copper +1 and +2. And zinc +2, isn't it? So therefore, if you take Mn, manganese, manganese can form stable compounds in +7 oxidation state. But after manganese, you see when you go from iron, cobalt, nickel, lower oxidation states are become what here more stable, right? Does scandium exhibits +2 oxidation state or not? Scandium, no. Only scandium exhibits what here +3. That point is important. Is it right? Now next, shall I remove this one? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Suppose if you take copper, CuCl2 is possible, CuBr2 is possible. Possible or not? Possible. If you take CuI2, this compound is not possible. CuI2 is not possible. Can you tell the reason why CuI2 is not possible? Yeah. Because say To get CuI2, you should take Cu plus 2 plus what here 2I minus. They should, if they combine, then you should get what here CuI2. But in this you see, I think you know, you take fluoride, chloride, bromide, and iodide. As go from fluoride to iodide, oxidizing power increase or decrease. Iodides. Iodide is acting as what here? Iodide is acting as what here? Oxidizing agent, isn't it, right? Therefore, here iodide is acting as what? Is it reducing agent or oxidizing agent? Here it is acting as what here? Reducing agent. Because see, fluorine to iodine, oxidizing power decreases, but reducing power increases as well. Here, whenever the Cu plus 2 is combined with I minus, this I minus is reducing what here? Cu plus 2 ion. Therefore, it is going to convert into what here? Cu plus. Therefore, CuI2 does not exist. Why? Because I minus ions are reducing what here? Copper ions, copper cupric ion into what here? Cuprous ion. Therefore, CuI2 compound does not exist. Clear this one? And in your material, he has given some compounds of what here oxides and some compounds of what here halides, isn't it, right? Just you can have some idea about what here these compounds, in which oxidation state, right? Which metal is forming what here stable compound. Okay, and some compounds are stabilized by what here hydration energy. Some compounds are stabilized by what here, right? Bond energy. The bond energy during the formation of that compound, if more energy is liberated, then that compound becomes what here more stable, is it, right? Now here is say has given, suppose BO2 plus, these are called oxo ions. BO2 plus, next Cr2O7 minus 2, Cr2O7 minus 2, next MnO4 minus, MnO4 minus. These are called as what here? Oxo anions or oxo ions. This is cation, these are the anions. What is the oxidation state of vanadium in this BO2 plus? What is the oxidation state? Tell me. It is, yeah, plus 5, isn't it correct term? In BO2 plus, what is the oxidation state of vanadium? Plus 5, correct term? Yeah, in this, what is oxidation state? Plus 6, isn't it, right? And this, what is the oxidation state here? Plus 7. Okay. So, maximum oxidation state exhibited by vanadium is plus 5, chromium is plus 6, and manganese is plus 7. Okay. Now, in this, right, already they are in maximum oxidation state. Now, these are acting as what here? Oxidizing agents or reducing agents, right? Oxidizing agents. Oxidizing agent means what here? They are undergoing what here? Reduction. Now, if you see the oxidizing power here, this is the order, which is acting as a strong oxidizing agent, permanganate, then what here? Dichromate, then what here? BO2 plus, isn't it clear? This point is important because see, increasing here, if you take Mn plus 7, right, and Mn plus 2, in Mn plus 7 and in Mn plus 2, Mn plus 2 is more stable than that of what here? Mn plus 7. So therefore, permanganate, already in organic chemistry also we see this one, potassium permanganate always act as what here? Oxidizing agent. So why it is acting as oxidizing agent? Because in plus 7 state it is what here? Comparatively less stable. So therefore, if you see the oxidizing power order, this point is important, very, very important to remember this. So they ask the correct order of what here? Oxidizing power of oxo ions, BO2 plus, Cr2O7 minus 1, MnO4 minus. This is important. Okay. And next, and one more point is in oxidizing properties, right? We take Cr plus 2, Cr plus 2, right? And Fe plus 2. Cr plus 2 and Fe plus 2. Cr plus 2 act as what here? Strong reducing agent. Cr plus 2 act as what here? Strong reducing agent than Fe plus 2. Reason is see, here Cr plus 2 is ready to undergo oxidation to convert into what here? Cr plus 3. Because chromium plus 3 is more stable than that of what here? Plus 2. Can you say what is the reason for chromium plus 3 is more stable. In chromium plus 3, right, what is the configuration? D3S0, isn't it? D3S0. In D3H0, it has a configuration of what here T2G1, T2G1. We'll discuss this in right coordination compounds. No, don't get the confusion here. I think already you have some idea about that T2G and EG, right? You have an idea about this? Yeah, according to crystal field theory.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right. So why chromium plus 3 is more stable means you see it has D3 configuration, no? This T2G3, T2G3 means what here it is half filled, isn't it? EZ0. Because of this reason, right, chromium is ready to undergo. Therefore, if you take Cr plus 2 oblique Cr plus 3, right, this is E naught. E naught means what here? It is a right potential, right? It is undergoing oxidation or reduction here, oxidation. So oxidation potential is positive or negative here, positive. Means it is ready to undergo oxidation. It is ready to undergo oxidation means what? It acts as what? Reducing agent. But Fe plus 2, Fe plus 2. Comparatively, Fe plus 2 conversion into Fe plus 3 is what here? Less or more here? Less. Because say, here the Fe plus 3 ions are stable because of half filled. But if you see this compound here, potassium ferrocyanide, K4FeCN taken 6 times and K3FeCN taken 6 times, right? So in these two complexes, you see this is more stable and this is what here less stable. But here iron is in oxidation state 2 and here it is what here 3, right? This can be explained by what here effect to atomic number concept and all that. That will discuss, right? So your point is what here? Cr plus 2 is stronger reducing agent than Fe plus 2, because in case of what here Cr plus 2, in case of chromium plus 2, it is changing into plus 3. Why? Because in plus 3 state it has what here half filled. Okay, clear? Right. So this point is also important, and these are the like stabilities of what here oxidation states of different transition elements. The only the thing is see you have to do this right in your material or textbook has given the tabular form oxides and right next highlights just you can have some idea because sometimes they're asking directly from that. Okay, and in lower oxidation state all transition elements are forming ionic compounds. In a higher oxidation state they form what here covalent compounds. Follow this point. In lower oxidation state they form what here covalent compounds. In higher oxidation state, sorry, ionic compounds. In higher oxidation state they form what here covalent compounds, right? So this is about what here oxidation states is. Next come to the ionization energy. See, even in ionization energy also, suppose if you see like S block elements and P block elements, we have right, a particular orders. But in transition elements, you see there is no particular order in ionization energy source, right? Because it all depends on what here different factors, right? Now let us say ionization energy here. Suppose you take a transition series, for example, 3D series. In case of 3D series, when you go from scandium to right, scandium to zinc, normally already we have discussed. Here it is what here copper will be there. Scandium to copper atomic size decreases, and copper to zinc atomic size increase or decrease here increase. And here point to remember, in any series, right? Last element. What is the last element here? Right, in this zinc. Next one is cadmium. Next one is what here mercury. They possesses what here highest ionization energy. Highest ionization energy. Okay. And suppose if you leave secondary group elements, only if you consider up to copper, means up to first B group elements. First B group elements, if you see the ionization energy, for example, 3D elements here. In 3D elements, this is scandium, then titanium, then next vanadium, next chromium, right? So here the scandium to chromium increases or decreases here increases. Therefore, in 3D series, so which is having highest ionization energy chromium, I am telling that exception 2B. 2B group elements, if you just keep it aside, only if you consider from scandium to first big, third big group to first big group. So in 3D series, which is having highest ionization energy, chromium. And if you go to the manganese here, right, manganese is posing what here lowest ionization energy. This is an exceptional, right, because of what here its complex structure, right, in 3D series elements, which is having lowest ionization energy, manganese, because of what here its complex structure. This point is very, very important. Okay. And next, we take 4D series. In 4D series, what are the elements here? Right, yttrium, zirconium, niobium, and next come to this what here molybdenum. Again, molybdenum possesses what here highest ionization. And you take 5D series, lanthanum, hafnium, tantalum, and tungsten. Right. So here, now here, when we go from right, yeah, that. Ionization energy, sorry. Let us, you make it correction, please. Melting point, sorry. Melting points we are discussing, sorry. Right. So now here is see, when you go from scandium to chromium, it is posing what now melting points are increasing or decreasing? Increasing. Yttrium to molybdenum is also increasing. Lanthanum to tungsten is also increasing. Manganese is posing what here lowest ionization, melting point, lowest melting point. Actually, in manganese, you see, if you see the configuration, D5S2 configuration. Actually, when you go from scandium to titanium, titanium to vanadium, vanadium to chromium, why these melting points are increasing? If you see the configuration D1, next D2, next D3, next D5, isn't it? This is scandium, this is titanium, this is vanadium, this is chromium. As the number of unpaired electrons are increasing, number of metallic bonds increase or decreases here, right? Increases. Therefore, melting points are increasing. But in case of manganese, what is the configuration D5? But it is having how many unpaired electrons? 5, even though its melting point is low because of what here its complex structure, isn't it? Similarly, yttrium to what here? Molybdenum, it is increasing, and lanthanum to tungsten also increasing. If you compare these elements here, right? So chromium, this is what here molybdenum, here it is what here tungsten. So this is what here 5D series element, this is what here 4D series element, and this is what here 3D series element. So now tungsten possesses what here highest melting point in the block elements. Because of this reason only, this tungsten is used as filament in what here electrical bulbs. Now point is again I am repeating, in 3D or 4D or 5D series, when you go from third B, 3B group elements to 6th B group element, right, as the number of unpaired electrons are increasing, melting points are increasing. So therefore in 3D series, which is having highest melting point, chromium. In 4D series, what is the element having highest melting point? Molybdenum. In 5D series, which is having highest melting point? Tungsten. Okay. And if you compare the 3D, 4D, 5D series, always melting points of 5D series are greater than that of what here 4D series or greater than that of what here 3D series. Okay. If you see the graphical relation here, right, you can find like this. So this is what here 5D series, this is what here 4D series, and this is what here 3D series. So here element is tungsten, here it is what here molybdenum, and here it is what here chromium, isn't it, right? So this is important. Now next, if you see the last elements here, zinc, cadmium, and mercury. Zinc, cadmium, and mercury. These are the secondary group elements possess what here lowest melting points because of what completely filled D subshell and S subshell. Therefore, these metals are called as what here volatile metals. These metals are called as what here volatile metals. So this is about what here melting point. But orders you see here there is no regular order. In 3D series, which is having right highest melting point in 3D series, chromium. In 5D series, 4D series, which one? Molybdenum. In 5D series, which one? Tungsten. Among the D block elements, which is having highest tungsten.
Thanks.
Okay. And which group elements are having lowest melting points? Second B. Therefore, these are called as what here? Volatile metals. These are called as volatile metals. And why their melting points are low? Melting points and boiling points are low because of what here? Completely filled D and S substrates. So just this is about what here? Right melting points is it? And the next, let us come to this ionization energies. Ionization energies. Now, ionization energy mainly depends on what here size, as we know. Right? Ionization energy is inversely proportional to what here atomic size. Atomic size. Ionization energy is inversely proportional to atomic size. And here point is, in any series, if you take 3D series or 4D series or 5D series, right? In general, in 3D series, which is having highest ionization energy, zinc. In 4D series, which is having cadmium. In 5D series, which is having, right, mercury. First point is say, in any series, which element is having highest ionization energy? Second B group element. Because of what here? Completely filled orbitals. Okay, clear? And next, which is having lowest ionization energy? Third B. For example, in 3D series, zinc is highest and scandium is what here? Lowest. Scandium is what here? Lowest. And in this series, in 4D series, which is having highest? Cadmium. And which is having lowest? Tell me. Right? Yttrium. Okay. Now, here one more, this is clear. So in case of this 5D series, which is having highest mercury, but which is having lowest here, lanthanum. So this is one point to remember. Here after zinc, if you see in 3D series elements, next comes what here? Iron. Next comes what here? Iron. And in 4D series, 4D series, after cadmium, next comes what here? Palladium. Okay. So at least you remember this point because these are all exceptions. In 3D series, after zinc, immediately next which element comes? Iron. And in 4D series, after cadmium, which element comes here? Right? Palladium. Okay, it all depends on what here? Their enthalpy of atomizations and ionization energy, I mean, right? Structures, isn't it? Okay. Next, if you take copper, in case of copper, we have the configuration D10S1, isn't it? D10S1. If you see the copper, right, second ionization energy, I2 of copper is much greater than that of what here? I2 of what? I1 of what here? Copper. The reason is what here? After removing one electron, it is getting what here? Stable configuration, therefore I2 is more. This is what in a series we can discuss, right? Now, come to these groups here. For example, you take third group here. In third group, what is the element we have? Scandium, right? Yttrium. Next, this is what here? Lanthanum. Okay. Suppose if you see the scandium ionization energy, it is nearly 631, right? Okay. And if you take yttrium, this is what here? 616, and this is what here? 51541. Now these are all present in the group, isn't it? When we go down, ionization energy is increasing or decreasing? Scandium ionization
Decreasing.
energy is greater than yttrium. Yttrium is greater than lanthanum. Why? Because you know that lanthanum size is larger than that of what here? Yttrium. Yttrium size is larger than that of what here? Scandium. But if you take titanium, right? Next, zirconium and hafnium you take, which is having large size, which is having large size. Here, yesterday we have discussed titanium size is
Zirconium and hafnium.
yeah, zirconium is almost equal to what here? Hafnium because of what here? Lanthanide contraction, isn't it? Right. Now tell me which is expected to have more ionization energy. If you see this titanium, its ionization energy is what here 650 according to the experimental values I am telling you, right? And this is what here 674, and this is what here 760. This is what here 760. If you see the value, if you take 3B elements, scandium to yttrium, yttrium to lanthanum, it was decreasing or increasing, decreasing. But you take 4B group elements here, when you go from titanium to zirconium and zirconium to right hafnium, it is increasing or decreasing, increasing. Now this is also not regular in all the cases, right? In this 4B, when you go from 3D to 4D, 4D to 5D, it is increasing. But if you see other groups here, right, 3D to 4D, 3D to 4D decreases and 4D to 5D increases. For example, you see, take zinc, cadmium, and mercury. Zinc, cadmium, and mercury. When you go from zinc to cadmium, size increases, cadmium, mercury remains same as it is. Zinc ionization energy is what here 906, and cadmium ionization energy is what here 876, and this is what here 1007. Again, which element is having highest ionization energy? 5D element or 4D
2B.
element or 3D element? 5D element. Why? Because when you are going from 4B group onwards, when you go from 3D to 4D, then 4D to 5D, right? So here the atomic size from 3D to 4D is increasing, but 4D and 5D element sizes are same. But nuclear charge is highest in what here 5D element
Elements.
because of highest nuclear charge, core shielding character of F electrons. The outer electrons are more tightly held with the nucleus. Therefore, ionization energy is becoming what here very high. Ionization energy is becoming what here very high. So therefore, in general, right, in a group, which series element is having highest ionization energy? 5D.
5D
Okay,
series.
yeah. And in some cases, 5D is greater than 3D and then 4D. But generally, 5D is greater than 4D, 4D is greater than 3D. Exactly, it is opposite. It is right. Actually, size also increases from 3D to 4D, but ionization energy should decrease, but it is not happening. It all depends on what is their crystal structures. If you see, even in textbook also, it has given the experimental data. For example, you see second B group elements. Copper is there. Copper, next silver and gold is there. In case of copper, silver, gold, copper first ionization energy is how much? 745. And next silver is how much? 731. Okay. And gold is how much? 889. Now see, in case of second B group elements, what is the order we have? Zinc, cadmium, and mercury. Mercury is greater than that of what here? Cadmium. Cadmium is greater than that of what here? Zinc, isn't it? But in this case, you see, gold is greater than that of what here? Copper. Copper is greater than that of what here? Silver. Here the 5D is greater than 4D, 4D is greater than 3D. Okay. But in this you see 5D is greater than that of what? Right? 3D. 3D is greater than that of what here 4D. Means there is no regular trends. Right? Therefore, you have to go through the experimental information and you have to remember exceptions compulsory. Okay. But in general, in 3D, 4D, 5D series elements, which element is having highest ionization energy? 5D, because in case of 5D, right, nuclear charge is very high. Nuclear charge is what here? Very high. Why? Because in case of 5D element, nuclear charge is more. Why nuclear charge is dominating? Because of what here? Core shielding character of what here? F electrons. Because 5D elements are occurring after lanthanides. Therefore, these elements are called as what here? Post-lanthanide elements, isn't it? So, in these post-lanthanide elements, because of entering of 4f electrons, their shielding character is less or more here less. Therefore, effective nuclear charge is becoming more than expected. Therefore, ionization energies are becoming what here? More. So, these are the
Most.
exceptions, isn't it? Clear this one? Right. And next. Yeah. Only up to stability of oxidation states it is there, huh? In our syllabus today. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. If you open your materials, check it once. If you have any doubts, we'll discuss. Yeah.
Sir,
Yeah. Tell me.
sir, here zinc, cadmium, and mercury you gave zinc is 906 and cadmium 876, no sir. Then zinc
Yeah.
is more than cadmium.
Yeah. Us. Right. Mercury. Sorry. Mercury is greater than zinc. Right. 906. Right. So which is more here? 5D, then 3D, and then 4D. Similarly, even this one also. Right. You're right. Similarly, even in first B also, which is more 5D, 3D, and 4D. 5D, 3D, and 4D. Okay, here is see. Actually, I'll tell you. When you take 3D, right? This is what here 4D, and this is what here 5D. 3D to 4D size increases or decreases? Increases. But 4D and 5D sizes are all what here almost equal. Okay. Now, if you compare right size, 3D is less than that of what here 4D. 4D is equal to what here 5D. Now, ionization energy, if you consider, right, actually 3D element should be more because its size is what here, right? Its size is less. Size is
Sir.
less. Therefore, ionization energy should be more. But 5D element ionization energy is becoming much more because of what here core shielding character of what here F electron. So therefore, 5D is becoming more. Then if you take 3D and 4D elements, right? In 3D and 4D elements, definitely which element should have more ionization energy? 3D. Why? Because 3D element size is smaller than that of what here 4D. Therefore, after 5D, then next comes what here 3D, then what here 4D. So this should be the actually order. But in some cases, even that is also deviating. But in general, which element is having highest 5D, then 3D, 4D. If you take zinc, cadmium, and mercury. Okay, according to the values also, mercury is greater than that of what here zinc. Zinc is greater than that of what here cadmium, right? Suppose we take copper, silver, and gold. Even according to the values also, gold is greater than that of what here copper. Copper is greater than that of what here silver. I think values, right? Okay. So therefore, generally you remember what is the order here. 5D is greater than 3D is greater than that of what here 4D. Why 5D is exception? Because of what here post shielding character of F electrons and high effective nuclear charge. Okay, no? Right. Next. But you see, in case of nickel group, okay, nickel, palladium, and platinum is there. Okay, platinum is greater than that of what here, right? Platinum should be greater than nickel, nickel should be greater than palladium, no? But palladium is more. Here, platinum is greater than palladium, and palladium is greater than that of what here nickel. Means what? This is what here 5D element, this is what here 4D element, and this is what here 3D elements. That's what exceptions are there, right? Next. Tell me. And even if you compare the enthalpy of atomization means you see If you take the crystal lattice of any metal, if you want to separate the metals from the crystal lattice, it requires what here some energy, that is called as what here enthalpy of atomization. Even enthalpy of atomization values are more for what here 5D than 4D and then what here 3D elements. Enthalpy of atomization values of 5D is greater than 4D is greater than that of what here 3D, because right it is also similar to that of what here melting points. Transition metals exhibits zero oxidation state. This statement is right or wrong? Transition metals can also exhibit zero oxidation state, isn't it? Yeah. For example, we take this complex nickel tetracarbonyl. Nickel tetracarbonyl, what is the oxidation state of nickel? Zero. We take iron pentacarbonyl, FeCO taken 5 times. What is the oxidation state of iron? Zero. The transition metals exhibit zero oxidation state in metal carbonates. Suppose if it is given question, among the following most stable ion is Mn plus 2, right? Sc plus 2, scandium plus 2, right? Fe plus 2, next Mn plus 3. The question is asking among the following most stable ion is, what is the answer?
Mn plus 2, sir.
Mn plus 2.
Mn plus 2. Reason?
Half-fill of electronic configurations.
Yeah. Next, a transition element X has configuration argon 3d4 in its plus 3 oxidation state. I'm repeating the question. A transition element X has the configuration argon 3d4 in its plus 3 oxidation state. Then its atomic number is. What is atomic? Some X element has configuration this one. Okay, in plus 3 oxidation state means after losing 3 electrons, its configuration is this one. Argon means how many? 18, right? 18 plus this 4, how many? 22. This is after losing 3 electrons. After losing 3 electrons means we should add 3. Therefore, what is the answer?
Manganese.
25. Okay. Next, and one more point is see, the lowest oxidation state exhibited by a transition element is, equal to number of electrons present in ns orbital. And highest oxidation state exhibited by a transition element is equal to sum of what here ns electrons and right unpaired n minus 1d electrons. Maximum oxidation state of a transition element is equal to sum of ns electrons and unpaired n minus 1d. Okay. For example, you see, you take Mn is there, manganese, right? 3d5 oxidation state is equal to ns electrons. What is that? Plus 2. And highest oxidation state, 2s electrons plus 5. All 5 are unpaired electrons. No? Therefore, what is the
Yes,
highest
sir.
oxidation state? Plus 7. Suppose if we take chromium here, chromium configuration is what here? 3d5 4s1. How many electrons are there in the s subshell? Only 1. Therefore, it exhibits what here? Plus 1 oxidation state also. Okay. Then highest oxidation state is how much? Plus 6.
Yes,
5
sir.
plus 1, 6. Clear? So simply remember this point also. lowest oxidation state is equal to number of electrons present in ns orbital. Highest oxidation state is equal to sum of ns electrons and unpaired. Suppose if we take iron configuration is what? 3d6 4s2, isn't it? Right? What is the lowest oxidation state? +2. Does iron exhibits +1 oxidation state in any case? Do you remember? Yeah. Brown ring complex. Got an idea? In brown ring complex, iron exhibits what here? +1 oxidation state, isn't it? Correct term? In brown ring complex, iron nitrosoferrous sulfate, FeSO4 dot NO, nitrosoferrous sulfate. This is called brown ring. In this, iron is what here? +1 oxidation state, that is exception. Okay, right. So now 3d6 4s2. Lowest oxidation state is what here? +2. Highest oxidation state is what here? +6. How many unpaired electrons are present in 3d4 now? Yeah, 4 + 2 6. But iron it is not forming stable compounds in what here? +6 is it, right? Okay. The next term. Which of the following is strongest reducing agent? Options PiCl2, MnCl2, FeCl2, and ZnCl2. Asking the question, which of the following is strongest reducing? What is the oxidation state of titanium? +2. And here it is +2. And here it is +2. And here it is what? +2. Okay. But titanium is more stable in +4 state than that of what here? +2 state. Can you tell the reason why? Yeah. What is the titanium atomic number?
22.
Titanium atomic number 22. Okay. In +4 state, right? How many electrons it is getting?
18.
18. Correct?
Organ
18 is not.
configuration.
Yeah. What is this? Argon configuration. Yeah. Therefore, titanium is more stable in +4 state than +2 state. Therefore, in these 4 compounds, in which compound, right, the metal is ready to undergo oxidation. Titanium. Okay, because in +4 state it is more stable than +2 state. Therefore, it is ready to undergo oxidation, means it acts as what? Yeah, reducing agent. This is important. Yes. And one more question.
Sir,
Last. Yeah.
even manganese is more stable in +7 oxidation.
Which one?
Manganese.
Mn. No, Mn is more stable in +2 state because potassium permanganate, right, always ready to changes into Mn+2, right, or MnO2, okay, or next MnO4 -2, isn't it? Okay, Mn+7 is more stable. Why? Because say 25 - 7 is 18, isn't it? But in order to lose 7 electrons, it requires how many energies, Shivani? I1, I2, I3, I4, I5, I6, I7. Okay, clear? Huh? But it is not ready to lose 7 electrons. But titanium can, because only 2 electrons is it, right? Okay, of course, in +7 state you are getting what here? Configuration, right? Nearest noble gas configuration. But to lose 7 electrons, it requires very high energy, no? Right? Even you see chromium also, right? In chromium, +6 and +3, which is more stable? Yeah. plus 3 is more stable than plus 6. Chromium compounds right exist in plus 3 state. Therefore, we take dichromate ion is ready to convert into what? Right, Cr plus 3, isn't it? In presence of what here? Strong reducing agents, they are ready to, permanganate is ready to convert into Mn plus 2 and dichromate is ready to convert into Cr plus 3. Because Cr plus 3 is more stable. Already we have discussed the reason, because of half-filled T to G. Okay. And the next one more question. Which of the following is, pardon.
What about iron, sir? It is stable in plus 3 now, sir.
Yeah.
Iron is stable in plus 3 now, sir.
But in plus 3 state, it is not getting, right, only half-filled configuration, isn't it? But not it is getting what here? Noble gas configuration.
Okay, sir.
Clear, huh? Okay. It is not getting noble gas configuration. It is getting half-filled because of what here? Right, T5. But titanium, you see, whenever it is losing 2 electrons, it is getting what here? Stable configuration. Right. Okay. Next. Which of the following is more basic? MnO, right? Next, MnO2. Next, Mn2O3. Next, Mn2O7. Tell me. These are all oxides of same metal, isn't it? Here, what is
MnO
oxidation state of Mn? Plus 2. Here, plus 4. Here, plus 3. Plus 3, right? Correct term? Correct term?
Yes, sir.
Plus yeah. So when you go from here to here, oxidation state is increasing or decreasing?
Increasing.
Oxidation state is increasing. As oxidation state increases, electronegativity increases or decreases? Electronegativity increases. Right? SD character increases or decreases?
Increases.
So basic
increases.
character decreases. So which is more basic now?
Nano.
Which is more basic? MnO, right? And which is more acidic? Mn2O3. You know this concept, isn't it? Always among the oxides of same element, as the oxidation state of an element increases, SD character increases. Okay. Say if you take in MnO and like in MnO2, normally bonds are what here ionic, but whereas in this case Mn2O7 bonds are what here covalent. Bonds are what here covalent. Okay, in higher oxidation state, always they form what here covalent compounds. So this is more basic means MnO, and more acidic means what here Mn2O7. Mn2O7. Now here this question is given, you see. Transition metals form ionic bonds in lower oxidation state, covalent bonds in higher oxidation state, coordinate covalent bonds with Lewis bases. All are correct.
All are correct.
All are correct. Because in the complex formation they came from. And one more question last. The number of d electrons in Fe plus 2 is not equal to that of number of right, d electrons in Fe plus 2 is right, not equal to that of p electrons in neon, p electrons in neon, s electrons in magnesium, next d electrons in iron, next p electrons in Cl-. Question is, number of d electrons in Fe plus 2 is not equal to that of. Number of d electrons in Fe plus 2, how many?
6.
6. Okay. And p electrons in neon, how many?
6.
6. Okay. And s electrons in magnesium?
6.
6. d electrons in iron?
6.
6. p electrons in Cl minus? How many? 12, no? In this 12 are there, isn't it? Because what is the configuration? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, right? 3s2, 3p6, isn't it correct term? Configuration.
Yes, sir.
Okay, how many p electrons?
12.
12. Therefore, what is the answer? This. Okay, then, right. In hydrogenous compounds, any doubts? Yeah. Okay, then, right.